bottom team in the bottom four. Mammoth, the way that they've been playing so far in this stage, has just not quite been up to par along with everyone else. As for Wildcard, of course, it's been a bumpy ride thus far. They've unfortunately not been able to probably live up to some of the expectations that they would have within their own camp and that we probably have externally for them. Edpan actually has...
Oh, I forgot!
Written, happy birthday, Xenox. Can you believe
No,
it?
we forgot!
It has been an absolute travesty. But Edpan, I absolutely love you. And I hope you go to the major. Everyone else has forgotten. I shit you not.
And I asked you yesterday, we had this discussion.
And we literally spoke about it yesterday.
And you were talking about how much you loved your 20s.
But I appreciate that a lot, Edpan, so thank you very much. And obviously, as we head into the ban phase, Nook taken off the board. Ossa, two very prominent operators on bank.
I feel so bad.
I really don't care. It's really not a big deal.
Well, it is the big 3-0 for you, so enjoy getting old. Very nice of Edpan, though.
It is very nice of Edpan. I'll tell you what.
I hope Wildcard wins.
He has been also very good this stage, and now I'm not just sucking up to him for that, but he has actually been pretty much the saving light. He's got it. He's still got it up. What a top bloke. I mean, he was probably the sole reason why they were even in the contest against Circular Spheres. If you remember all the way back, I think it was week 2, start of week 2, when they had that big matchup. He was the only one that really came to the foray and absolutely balled out. But ultimately, we move forward. It is going to be banked to start day 5 of the Oceania League here for 2023. Mammoth on the defense first. This gives them an opportunity at the very least where they can go lock a CCTV.
Tell us archives, though.
Oh, never mind. I'll take it all back.
Mammoth are cooking up something special.
Forget about going to probably the most common defensive side on bank, where you've almost banged in, no pun intended, around early defensively. They go Teller's Archives. Now, in fairness, if you're a team that's struggling and you haven't won a game and you're at the bottom of the standings, this is probably the way that you're going to pinch a few rounds. You're going to do some things that the opposing team is maybe not ready for. Because we certainly weren't ready for it.
Well, I looked over Sky's shoulder as they're making the lobby. Pluto from Mammoth was the only player inside the lobby, and he did warn Sky that they've been cooking. So, I mean, let's see what it's like, because this site certainly not in the meta. An opportunity, though, for Mammoth to be a bit loosey-goosey, try and find a couple of picks, try and get aggressive and throw Wildcard off, who have, unfortunately, not gone through their last couple of games unscathed. And it's such an aggressive lineup. Valk for info as well, and Pulse. So you're not going to have a fun time against the remaining 3 fraggers in Pluto, Hunter, and Tiltech. And there we go. An immediate jump out from Tiltech. And look,
wow,
this is going to be the game. Mammoth are just going to throw caution to the wind.
He doesn't make it back inside those safely, so 1-for-1 trade. But you do take the Ying out of the equation. Logic, though, finds a second onto Pluto. I'm not sure. Maybe Pluto also jumped out too, because Logic's still out towards main entrance, unless he just got a really nasty angle on him on the Vigil. It will be the jump out that Pluto was going for to go for the trade. Unsuccessful. A little bit surprising, because I actually kind of like the sort of roam heaviness style here from Mammoth. Off-site, Talon's Archives, keep control of areas like top square, probably also towards like top banana. And ultimately then you're going for double runouts, which is fine. It's not the end of the world. You got the kill onto Edpan, but you're running a Vigil, a Valk, a Pulse, and Oryx. Use those in the map. Make it difficult for Wildcard in the map. Don't give them freebies outside.
Minute 45 then, and Cairo will get control over towards top square. Chef Jeff down below, though, can feed information with that pulse scanner, Nitro in hand. Campo as well may have a couple of those black eye cameras as well up above, and Hunter. And make sure that the push back down bottom square isn't all that easy. So you're still with the Stalmer in hand, plenty of explosives available to the side of Wildcard on the attack. They're doing their due diligence, establishing vert, clearing open area. They'll likely then try and drop and then transition across, maybe try and get control of bot square as well. And that's where Hunter could have an impact, but it's also Campo to get in on the fun. Minute to go, Hunter, oh, push from behind, but Chef Jeff to cover, and he swings for a second. And Wildcard, they let open area be taken by the defense. And unfortunately, our Logic stranded in the 1v3.
Yeah, really well played from Chef Jeff, and big punishment there onto Wildcard. When you take into account Pluto and Tiltech's early deaths, yes, they got the kill onto Edpan, but Logic was able to get the 2 back and then give the advantage over to Wildcard. And they lose out rather comfortably. Logic in a 1 versus 3. Cardiac sensor from Chef Jeff will spot him over towards Beepers. Logic wins it anyway. So 3 in the round. All 3 gained for Logic. Shoulder check inside. Doesn't find anyone initially. Finds the quad.
Ooh.
Hunter, though, technically in the 1v1. Shuts it down, though. Does not give him the ace. And Tiltek is excited with that one. That's a round on the board early for Mammoth.
Nice to see that they're taking it in their stride, right? Mammoth obviously not at this point. They're basically down in the dumps and not any realistic chance for the major. It's mathematically impossible and prize pool pretty limited at this point as well. But they go in, positive attitude. Starts off with that jump out. They get aggressive. They look to then retake open area even once that vert's established, and Wildcard look to transition, catch them off guard. Almost slipped at the end. Good attempt from Log. Clearly on his toes, having to carry us in the rank stack last night. Of you in the rank stack last night.
He did. He did.
Showing off his fragging prowess, but obviously not enough.
Yeah, he's going to have to probably do a little bit more of that carrying if everyone else can't quite come to the foray. Great start, though, for Mammoth. And, well, the surprise sight does, in the end, give them the result that they were searching for. Now they get to go down below. Now they get look at CCTV, and they can take a little bit of confidence and momentum into this as well, just to further affirm that this is going to be a difficult site to take for Wildcard. This is not an easy site. They do bring the Habana along with the Jackal. I love the Jackal here. Sweep above, make sure there's no roaming Mammoth members. We saw it obviously in the last round. They're happy to roam. They're happy to sort of play into that playstyle, especially on a site like Bank. So the fact that Jackal's made it through, you really do want to utilize it, even on a site like Locker CCTV. The soft breach, well, so I was going to say the soft breach. Well, technically you've got the soft breach through Cairo, but the Reteros for Edpan here on a site like Locker CCTV, I feel like Flores doesn't always get that utilized for this particular site. We'll see how Edpan wants to play it. Tuhan with a very early push over towards hallway outside of stock. Chef Jeff just hangs around top main stairs. He'll fall off. He's been droned. He'll sense the pressure. And Logic to clear from the other side. And really, this is just all about really good pacing here from Wildcard. Clear above, force them down, and then you get to work.
The best use of those Reteros will be for the Vulcan canisters from the Goyo on site. Otherwise, you don't want to be playing too static on the attack against a defense where Mammoth are showing that they are willing to be aggressive. Hatch open, up above, down through into red. Tiltek will probably play for that and look to waste a little bit more time. Management, though, on the side of Wildcard at the moment. Tiltek, well, he drops down quite quick. So, minute 45 for Wildcard, and they have top floor control.
But only 3 drones. So, those drones are getting absolutely decimated by the Solus of Chef Jeff over towards main stairs, really denying a lot of that information towards basement. Minute and a half remaining. 3 active drones for Wildcard, so information will be hard to come by late round. They're still going to deal with Hunter over towards blue stairs. That's another area, obviously, the Reteros can be quite useful, clearing out these Vulcan canisters, the ADS, the position top blue. Now, Hunter actually is smart here. That Retero has gone way too far. Didn't take out the Vulcan canister, didn't take out the ADS. He lets it go by him. He pushes in, uses this as the smoke, and no one can push him and swing him. So that's a big, big win there again for Hunter on Mammoth, and Kempo with the opening kill onto Cairo. Soft bridge gone. And now with a minute to go, it's Mammoth in a really strong position to close out this round.
60 seconds on the clock. Wildcard could look to pivot for a rear push. The hatch is open. They have the flashes to drop Logic with 2 smokes as well to cover, especially the likes of Gold and Volt. Campo can probe. He can play this position. Should be favored in the gunfight if Wildcard elect to drop, and that's exactly what they do.
Campo should be able to get this one. Never mind. Tuhan walks straight to his sight lines. He got the kill, though. And it's 3 across the board here for Wildcard. 3 separate members finding a kill in quick succession. That's a wonderful angle from Logic over towards Beepers. Expecting that push up main stairs. All right, Wildcard respond. Probably in a stressful manner. They don't look like they're having a whole lot of fun at the moment. Mammoth are here to play. But a really good job to just sort of think their way through that round. Because the start of the round probably wasn't too bad. They got good top floor control, really good manner. And then the mid portion, actually, I've got to say, went to Pro Mammoth. They held onto blue stairs. Main stairs didn't get taken over. They obviously got a lot of the drones. So information was hard to come by for Wildcard. So Wildcard had to be patient. Very, very patient and let the round come to them. They didn't force anything. They didn't start trying to rush things over towards server. They put a little bit of pressure over towards Vault. Started to clear out main stairs a bit. Ultimately, it was just sort of a calm round from them, and that's a good sign. Mammoth don't repeat. They go over to CEO Executive here in the 3rd round.
Yeah, Mammoth are applying pretty decent pressure there, but Wildcard little bit more aggressive in some of those peaks. They had the advantage and they were able to convert and show off a bit of that mechanical prowess, but I think they would probably even admit at this point of the game under a little bit more pressure than they would otherwise want. They'll pivot onto the Montang for the repick here in round number 3. Logic certainly no stranger with the Montang in hand, and will be looking to create space for the rest of the team. Opens up options like Banana. You can even post up Monty top square and push him down stock hallway to look to nullify that shield position as well.
Good signs early on, though, for Mammoth. That's what you want to see for a team that's sort of struggled at the moment in this season. Into day 5 now, and maybe able to just sort of fix some things and tweak a few instances of their gameplay to find some improvements. It's always difficult throughout the middle portion of a season when you don't really get that time to really just sort of hone in for a couple of weeks and months at a time and really practice and work on synergy and strategy. So Montaigne to go up Banana Stairs. Logic, though, I mean, he's the one that's 6-1. You probably want a gun in his hand. But we've seen Montaigne's in recent months really utilize that pistol anyway. Campo over towards Kanto. Just watches top Banana, expecting that push from Logic. Campo really hasn't got anything to deal with the Montaigne. And Logic will basically get top Banana for free.
No extension in towards Elevator either, so for Logic this cross is pretty damn safe, and Tuhan can follow up close by, but there's the angle from Campo. Straight through that rotating the wall, and Edpan top square taking down Chef Jeff to confirm it with the shotgun. Now Wildcard have fought from behind. Last round a decent example in the 4v5, but a 3v5 now with Logic on that Monty. This could be very, very tough for Wildcard.
Yeah, and there's a Yokai as well just hanging around that Kanto wall, so you've got a really difficult prospect now if you're Wildcard. Again, the Montang has already kind of done its job. He's literally inside of CEO. Logic having a wonderful game so far. Could have had really probably a couple more kills in this round as well if he wasn't on the Monty. Campo with a big kill onto Sawyer as he was looking to drop down. Cairo has to go big here. He has to be the gunner. On the Zofia with the diffuser. Logic, though, he's in a bit of trouble, bit of strife, and he's lost Cairo on site as well. Really no expectation here now for Logic besides maybe the melee, the hip fire. He's got the pistol, doesn't get the kill he deserved. Mammoth will get their second round here on Bank on the defense, but Wildcard maybe just showing the signs of a little bit of that aggression, that push up Banana Stairs. Tuhan, they hadn't quite got all the angles maybe figured out. He rushed it up a little early. He dies, then you lose the one top square, so now you got no pinch pressure. Mammoth just systematically able to just sort of hold their positions well. Didn't panic, especially over towards the Elevator's Kanto position. Just fell back, gave it up. It's fine, the Montang's going to get that. They let him walk on site. They didn't panic either.
I mean, I think you don't have to be an expert to see the body language from Mammoth is quite positive at the moment. A lot of smiles. Chef Jeff. Bit of chit-chat after the conclusion of that round. Probably wondering what's going wrong in the wildcard camp at the moment. 1-2 the scoreline, but we do now go to the tertiary side of open area, so I'm not going to see archives reappear, and we probably won't again hear from Mammoth. This site has certainly become increasingly more popular. There's been a couple of different adaptations on the defensive side, but I'm looking more so at the attack here. Oh, I thought Edpan was almost going to stick to 0. A great operator on Bank where there's a lot of rotations and it's a large scale map, but elects to change on to the Ying instead, probably to create a bit of space and to maybe just facilitate this push up above.
Yeah, it's only one deployable shield though for Mammoth, and I don't see it stock hallway. So I don't know how much of an extension they really want to have above. It might be a little bit more horizontal. I wonder if they're pushing more so towards... Well, actually, they're actually really extending over towards Janitor at the moment. But yeah, no shield stock hallway. And they have opened up some pathways as well over towards archives. So really focusing on that middle side of the map, both above and below. They've got the barricades as well over towards CEO. But Tuhan has just been able to waltz in. There is that shield. Actually, it's played at main stairs. Interesting. I don't know about that one, because then this is exactly what happens. You can't really deal with the pinch. Kind of just stuck out in the middle on an island. Campo, though, gets the trade onto Cairo, who maybe stuck around longer than he should have. And then Logic as well says hello. Shot in the back. Well, it feels like half of the deaths so far have just been trades. After trades, 3 versus 3 with 2 minutes left to go. But this stretches the defense now. When you're playing this kind of side, and you want to play off-site, and you want to extend, you've only got 3 players left. This should favor the attacking team. You still got your hard breacher. You still got a good execute, obviously, with those Candelas through Edpan. And Logic can still clear any kind of utility left remaining.
Vertical control now the name of the game for Logic. Hunter will look to potentially contest
Oh, no.
this, and he gets it.
Did he
Logic.
on the drone?
I think so. Wildcard 2v3, so again on the back foot for the final push. They are finding it tricky in the mid round, and Mammoth, to their credit, creating this chaos, but they are playing into it really, really well. Bottom square pressure,
Wow,
nullified.
that's beautiful.
Edpan on site does drop, so he has a bit of control. No diffuser though, however, and getting lit up from behind.
Yeah, and I like that there from Edpan. At that point, you just go direct because they're playing largely off-site. And another push there, that time comes from Blue Stairs. Unfortunately, doesn't now have the diffuser. That's going to be held over towards top square. Chef Jeff with a really good angle, although falling away at the moment. And good usage of the Candelas here to just get the diffuser back. That's win condition stuff here from Edpan. It's the only way you're going to win the round. Now it's a 1 versus 1. This is winnable. Obviously, he tries to find the diffuser, gets it, a little bit caught and tangled at his feet. Hunter can drop hatch here and watch for the cross here on site, and he's going to get the kill. Really well played there from Hunter. Just understanding sort of the circumnavigation there as to what is going to happen. Knows exactly where Edpan's going to go. Edpan doing as good a job as you could honestly ask for, considering diffuser gets stuck top square. He's all the way on site after clearing and pushing in. Does a really good job to then use those Candelas, get that back. Unfortunately, though, a task insurmountable. And Mammoth have got 3 rounds. We got to start to believe they might be able to beat Wildcard here.
Should be the other way, this scoreline, right? Shouldn't it? We come in, we expect, yeah, Wildcard might not be in peak form, but against a struggling Mammoth should be a bit of a pushover game, but certainly not the case. Didn't mind that deployable shield top main. It does expose to the Skylight drop, and we did see the trade, but in the long run, Mammoth actually winning out the trade game and then having the advantage. So again, I think it just goes back to that P word, the pressure, right? Like, there's no pressure on Mammoth here. They know that they're really not in the discussion for much at all at the moment, so they go in. They play a little bit loose. They play positive, and it's yielding results at the moment.
I think the last time we spoke to Wildcard, I think we were actually on the old couch and had a chat with Logic, and one thing that obviously came up about that, Michelle, who does a really good job with the psyche and the mentality aspect of esports, and these are the kind of moments where that's actually extraordinarily handy. You've got to be able to handle these high-pressured scenarios where, okay, you're kind of losing to a team you should be beating, and it's kind of a must-win. Any hopes of the major, you lose this game, you are not going to the major. Like, it is a 100% chance you will not be going. So there is the pressure, as you said, that P word, it is applicable here to Wildcard. But 2 rounds to bring it back. Hunter watches Blue Stairs, he'll get a freebie.
Oh, no.
Too-hard, just able to stay alive. Maybe the swings and roundabouts, top square, angle, Pluto. Because Too-hard re-peaked it low on health.
Where's the rest of the team from Wildcard? Okay, well, they're in sight. So, again, it's Archives. A difficult site to lock down. A 2 versus 3. No denial, but Pluto hears the plant go down, so he knows where one player is.
He knows he's there.
Yep.
Oh, he can just get straight on this. Is anyone here going to be close enough to deny? Kyro's down below. Sawyer, is he close enough to spray? He's not going to be able to deny it. Pluto just gets straight on. Pros don't fake it. Mammoth have got another one. 4-1 for the team that's at the bottom of the standings. To a team many thought would fight for a spot at the major. This is turning into Wildcard's worst nightmare. They're lucid dreaming. It's before their very eyes.
I feel like I'm dreaming. Not only have Mammoth pulled that off, but they've pulled it off on Archives of all positions, and I don't think the plan there from Wildcard was all that bad, right? You send in the blitz, you gain space, no one really on site. Mammoth distracted elsewhere. But so too then with Wildcard trying to mop up, I think, those rotations, and then you leave them in the post so far away from site. It was just a desperate spray through the wall to try to deny that counter defuse. Does not land.
That's crazy. That is actually crazy. And I agree. I actually think the sort of just rush in western side. You know they've got a bit of a stairs, square hold. But there's just no one there to obviously deny the counter defuse. And smart game sense again from Pluto there to understand that you just got to get on it.
Yep.
That they're not on site, that they're elsewhere. They've got the intel, one below, one over towards main stairs. This was a really well executed play again from Mammoth. They've really perfected Archives and Tellers 2 for 2. We don't see that often We don't see the site often, but let alone a team win it twice.
It's the perfect strategy, though. There is no world in which Wildcard are going into this game expecting sites like that to be played and played in the fashion in which they are.
In saying that, so this is a little bit more standard. This is the rudimentary CEO exec. You've got shield, stock hallway. You've got the castle barricades blocking off sight lines from the rappel in towards CEO.
Well, it's the same setup from Wildcard as well, right? They're bringing that Monty. They're going for the banana push. There's no one in elevator from Mammoth. And even still last time Wildcard were struggling a little bit to pull it off. So we'll see that Yokai is well in play. So information available for Hunter, and Campo is looking to contest. Keeping in mind last time Campo was the player in a similar position to catch these players off guard on this push.
Yeah. Everything just coming up for Mammoth, though, and definitely riding that wave of confidence. Logic has been sort of a beacon of hope for Wildcard, 9-4, but once again on the Montang. And it didn't work last time, not to his own fault. He actually got on site. Everyone else just fell apart around him. Calls go out from Edpan. Campo does not sway, holds his position.
Ooh.
Oh, the timing, can you believe it? Nade in towards elevators, he stays alive. He drops down. I think Wildcard are prepared for this.
They didn't
Never
catch
get
him.
out.
They
Pluto
didn't catch
dies
him.
low to Cairo. Campo gets away. Coming in behind Cairo. Nice little 180 flick though to mid-main stairs. Gets the second kill in the round. Finally, Wildcard getting things to go their way. A little bit hit and a miss, but this time it hits. Tiltek, he makes the rush. He's expecting Cairo top main. He fell back. He pushed into him. Trey finally comes out from Hunter. He tries to play off the ping, unable to find the down. And Logic now in sight can get this plant down. And if he does, that will probably be the round for Wildcard. And should be, surely from here. You've got the Repels, you've got the Montang, and it's only a 2-player defense remaining. Wildcard will make it 2-4. It's not the way they would have wanted this scoreboard to look at the end of the first half, but they'll take that round. They needed it.
Yep, Cairo stepping up. They needed someone there to really spearhead that attack. Able to get the first, then gets the trade main. Also locks down a potential flank threat there from Tiltek. So a decent recovery effort at the moment from Wildcard, but they are still at a deficit against arguably the worst team currently in the league. So it's not a position that we expected to find themselves in, but you never know how the defense is going to play out. So we just have to catch our breath a little bit, but expecting Mammoth on the attack to probably be just as, if not even more aggressive than they were on defense.
Well, yeah, I was probably thinking of the word annoying maybe as well on the attack, because that's what they were kind of on the defense, just annoying, some different strategies. And look at it, obviously you got attacker repick that's going to come out. Thought the 0 would make it through, but no, Hunter's maybe going to switch off to the Twitch. But the Amaru is interesting here from Chef. Got the hard bridge through the Habana, so straight to Locker's CCTV, and this is basically what you would expect the way most teams are going to play it. Denial through the likes of the smoke, so to obviously extend that timer, make it difficult. You would imagine, obviously, over towards server. You got a Vulcan canister there, obviously on the reinforced wall, so that's there to deny. You got EDDs, you got the Yokai drone. The whole purpose of this defense for Wildcard is time. They want this to go down to the last 15-20 seconds. They want Mammoth to have to force their way through server, go for the plant. It's all too difficult, too much utility, and that ends up being a rush onto site, and it doesn't work.
That's one way to get rid of the default. Shotgun in the hands of Chef Jeff on that Amaru. On basement, though, the question will really be how much of an impact could that have? Amaru in top 4 maybe get some quick control, but outside of that, util limited.
No
Up
way.
on the
How
plant
does
box,
Tuan lose
Pluto? What is that? What?
It's Mammoth Day today. Wildcard are going to have to fight tooth and nail to overcome that, because it's been the story here on Bank. Mammoth outshining Wildcard.
The Amaru is just in. No pressure blue. Didn't get caught top square. Cairo didn't see it. Might have just heard it, though.
Well, yeah, proximity obviously giving away this position, but ultimately does not have anyone pushing back. Wildcard just happy to contend with open area. Chef Jeff will hold, and he actually droned himself in through server. Has got secondary hard breaches available as well. Minute 40 left, still 1 player advantage for Mammoth. They are obviously focusing over towards that square side of the map. Hunter, is he about to find a crouching defender here on site? Up close now with Chef Jeff. He got access. He comes back to help out. There's the drop down though after Logic loses his life. That was a little bit aggressive from Chef Jeff. Played into that one. Sawyer watching the hatch, expecting some shots maybe onto the retreating members of Wildcard. And it's an ETT onto Campo. Coming out of Archives, he loses his life, and Wildcard are back in the round.
A disappointing way for Mammoth to forfeit their advantage in this round. 60 seconds. Vulcan canisters now being burnt at that main entrance. Mammoth, I think, will probably want to position for a default, but there is also that secondary option of trying to go for a hatch drop. Keeping in mind, no hard breach now available, so getting open server wall now not an option.
Yep.
And we'll see if Wildcard read into it.
And 3 gas babes, well, now 2. After this one dissipates, Sawyer will have 2 more left. You've got the Yokai as well, still available. And that's probably enough, you would think, with 30 seconds to go. Wildcard won't need much more. Tiltech positioned over towards server. We'll probably have to just push through that doorway. There goes another gas pipe. It's actually going to be dropped by Hunter with the diffuser. It's an alternative drop here for Mammoth, and it might catch Wildcard off guard. Tiltech in through the smoke, trying to obviously provide a little bit of cover here. He is choking, though, to death. Wonderful play from Sawyer. Blocks any sort of entry, but Plant is down. Wildcard will be aware of this, that they have to probably send one above. Instead, they're just going to get on it. There goes one above, over towards Beepers. Pluto will not be able to win both here, surely, unless he times this one. Doesn't hit it. Was, of course, being watched, though, anyway, Sawyer. So Wildcard, oh yeah, 200, just wipe that brow. It's a stressful game at the moment, but they're working their way through it.
Yeah, for Wildcard, just looking to chip away at this match. Taking that Hibana down was pretty important. Unfortunate Campo falling to those traps. I really do think if server wall was open and they could try and get that plant down, it perhaps would have been a little bit more successful. But with that said, Cairo did really good work there on the smoke and showed that he was ready to lock down those positions. So perhaps it would not have been a different story for Mammoth. We go up above now. We're going to see the Mirror Castle combo in play. And look, to be frank, I don't think Mammoth are going to be too interested in clearing that. I expect them again to lean heavily into that Amaru. Zero also a great counter for Mirror, so we might also see that interaction.
Double hard bridge to the Amaru, as you mentioned, though, is going to be picked off, and they bring the Zofia, and also said Zero gets taken away. I mean, the Twitch works too, right? Like, I mean, that's pretty much same for same, which is going to be very handy here in dealing with the Mirror, dealing with utility, like mute chambers as well. But the solace is to then counter the Twitch. So it's all counter for counter. So double hard bridge though. Good opportunities here. Of course, castle barricades over towards site. Mirror window. Is that one over towards janitor that Kairo's watching? No, that's actually going to be long desk over towards main. And yeah, there is actually one in janitor as well. So Kairo watching that one. Really well set up here. And obviously the main thing with this sort of defense, don't really want a whole lot of pressure probably coming from that stock position. And that mirror window then in long desk really does kind of help with that.
Ex-Kairo's pallets being prepped. I presume that's Kanto wall, but no, Campo is actually on the northern rappel. Kanto was opened up though, so making quick work of that. Certainly more reserved here from Mammoth than I anticipated. I thought it would be a little bit more explosive and not necessarily wanting to hard counter some of the setup here from Wildcard, but it looks like that will not be the case. They need to be a little bit mindful though. A lack of pressure on some of these defenders, but a mirror window does get popped. That's the one inside of Jan, and that may open up more opportunities now for CEO Plant, as that will be a lot more tricky for the defense to lock down.
Yeah, I thought they'd be a little bit more expressive as well on their attacks, but so far it has been quite default from Mammoth. You know, they've kind of picked the Amaru a couple of times and then always just really picking off it. I mean, well, obviously brought it Locker CCTV. That was probably the one side I was a little bit confused by it, but when you've got Wildcard playing so far aside. Okay, here we go. Beepers. Chef Jeff has just slow walked up and 2R's not ready for it. Quick trade though from Logic on the Solus. He goes to double digits now. Makes his way below Janitor. Kairo's still there, and we'll see that mirror window. Gonna make things very difficult for the likes of Campo. Burst out from Sawyer inside of elevators. Knows there's one top banana. Ed Pan in front desk now. 50 seconds left. 4 versus 4. These are the kind of rounds, though, you would be backing in Wildcard. This is when it's all a little bit more default. It's all a little bit more neutral. Wildcard should be winning these rounds, especially on the defense. Hunter with the smoke to make the cross, actually. And this is not bad. I think it might catch Edpan off guard. He makes it through with the vault, though. That's a wonderful turnaround from Edpan. Probably should have lost his life. Instead, stays alive, Pluto. Swings, loses that one. Cairo, that's much better from Wildcard. When it comes down to these kind of face-on-face shooting fights, Wildcard have been better. Mammoth have got to find a way to get back into sort of stabbing them in the back, trying to get these flanks going, try to be a little bit more expressive on the attack. It's all a little bit too same. And it's allowing Wildcard back into this game.
Edpan doesn't survive there. I think it could have been a different story, right? Because he was mainly focused on watching the rappel in. He knew that Sawyer had his back. Once the smoke went down, though, that was a little bit compromised. And then the fact that he was able to then survive, was able to support some of the other players like Cairo inside of Jan. Replay down below, so it was a good trade. And that Solace was always also down below. For Logic. He eventually made his way up main because he didn't necessarily want to be down below, not helping the team out in the trade department, but that was always an option, that plant denial, and planting up on the desk would have been very difficult on site. So well played from Wildcard and putting on a little bit of a clinic now up above. So the pressure now is kind of reverted a little bit. Mammoth don't look near as strong on their attacks so far compared to their defense.
Wildcard win here 7-4. What does that say about them? Because I know that many would be like, well, they should have beat them 7-1, 7-0, 7-2 at worst. But I think it speaks volumes about the fact you start 1-4, it's not working. They're doing some interesting things on the defense. A lot of archives and towers. Maybe those are the kind of sites you're not quite as prepared for, and they've done it, and then a couple of things really went their way. They had the dream start. To mentally kind of just not allow that to affect you and to just switch back. Because, like, it's actually more mentally draining when it's a team that you would consider lesser doing it to you versus a team that maybe is a contender, like a Bliss. To then be able to switch your mindset back, it's from 1-4 to 4-4. You're in control now. You're dictating the game. You're on the defense. You're doing your thing. I think it speaks volumes for this team.
Still a long way to go, though, and if they are pressured significantly here on the defense and Mammoth are able to sneak around, then we may see them stress tested once more. Good entry from Pluto. Thought maybe Sawyer was going to have a bit of a peek, but actually has a mirror window facing in towards bot square, so only 3 walls on quad are reinforced. And that actually compromises this position quite a bit. Can use that chassis for coverage. But Pluto locking it down. Logic elsewhere does get the first, so Chef Jeff trying to find entry with that Amaru denied, and that is the diffuser now on the floor.
Oh, this is an interesting little lurk from Pluto. Bot square finds the kill into Sawyer. That's the mirror gone. Mirror still obviously on that triple wall. Now in through archives, tries to find a couple more that are lurking around, but unfortunately, as he's made this push, as he's made this roam, teammates have fallen around the map. Wildcard are just doing a lot better at winning these contact fights now. Far, far better than Mammoth. And really, as the attacking team, that's really got to be where your strength comes. If you're going to find attacking rounds, you've got to be able to push in, find kills, win out. Force the defenders on site, especially on a map like Bank, where pretty much the primary sites are all off-site kind of defense. A lot of roam. In this case now for Wildcard, they can kind of just fall back a little bit here. There's only 2 players to contend with. Salmas go out from Campo, top blue stairs, minute left. Pluto inside of Archives with the diffuser. Can make the push in. Logic watching though. Oh. Logic not just watching, he finds the kill onto Campo. That's an intriguing angle all the way over to bot square. So it's a 1 versus 4 for Pluto, and I think it's timeout time. Surely, Mammoth will take the tack after this. From a 1-4 lead, it'll be a 5-4 deficit in favor of Wildcard. Pluto might just get 1 hit, helps out the KD. Default's still up. So watched all that way. They know exactly where he is, what side of the map he is, from top square to bot. And they will not allow this plant to go down. Not at all, and not with the way that Logic is playing. 13-5, and on the brink of 14-5. When they go and get this kill, he is trapped in on the other side of Kitchen here. It is Tuhan, though, that does get the kill. It is Wildcard that get 4 rounds in a row, and finally forces out tactical timeout from Mammoth.
Well, it's definitely been a game of 2 halves. Mammoth just don't look as inspired on attack. I think at this point, I'd just be throwing the kitchen sink at it. Just bring something crazy. Wildcard, they've probably looked their weakness when the unexpected has hit them. Mammoth have this tactical timeout though to quickly have a chat and have a discussion and an opportunity for us to get a gaze at that scoreboard. You mentioned it, Logic, 13 kills, not too bad. He's just been chipping away. He hasn't had any like huge plays or anything like that.
6-1 as well. So and then that was in the first half when they were down 1-4.
Just on that solace, right? Running around, getting info, getting a couple of kills. Obviously, Mammoth are going for those sneak entries, and they're not really working.
Does this end up being a win-win game? Are we going to have a game where both teams are going to walk away actually pretty happy? Because Mammoth have put up a good contest. Even if you lose 7-4 here, Wildcard's a good team. You bamboozled them in the first half. You got something to sort of build on. For Wildcard, yeah, first half disappointing. Very disappointing. No one's going to give them an escape ticket there. But the ability to come back mentally and get into this game and win it pretty comfortably and now stabilized and they're going to probably go on and win it. Is it a win-win? Both teams can end up pretty happy with the way this game has turned out. If Wildcard do
I think if you want to take the positive approach, it can be. If Wildcard do go on to win and we talk to Logic, I'm sure we'll get that insight. If I had to guess what he's going to say, he's going to be like, we should have won this 7-0.
Yeah,
I don't know how we let them get 4 rounds of shit. Yeah, that's exactly what he's going to say, but I don't know. Maybe once the adrenaline cools
That's Logic, though. And he's not very logical.
Well, he plays online. Again, he plays with us, so that's definitely not logical. That's not logical at all.
And they've also still got to finish the job, though. Lock a CCTV now into the 10th round. It's only a 1-round advantage, and all it takes, as you said, is for Mammoth to just throw the kitchen sink. Go for a rush. Do something a little bit different. Overwhelm a position. Get a couple of kills, make it a 5v3. Force Wildcard to start to scatter around a little bit and try and claw their way back into a round. Certainly still winnable here for Mammoth. Certainly a game that is winnable. And we're getting towards the tail end of the stage now. There's not going to be many more games for them that are going to be winnable. And this would be one of the bigger upsets of the stage. Actually, this would be the biggest upset of the stage thus far. Close, but no cigar. Chef Jeff over towards Blue Stairs, so no real hold there from Wildcard. They'll give that one up. They don't really care about it. In fact, probably they want them to go server. Obviously, when you look at the lineup that they've got, and Logic finds the opening kill onto the Yana of Pluto, making his way in over towards open area and staff.
There's just no follow-up, right? Like, where's the rest of the team? There's just no one. There's no pressure stock. There's no follow-up. There is some over towards bot square, but it is delayed. So Chef Jeff here might be in a position to make a play, but he'll be walking into that 2-man crossfire inside of open area.
Well, is it communication issues? Like, I mean, is it just has the Yana Gemini'd in and got no intel, so pushes in expecting no one to be there, and then as soon as you go in, it's like, oh, okay, there is someone. Have not droned properly. There's many different cases as to sort of why that issue is there.
Well, unfortunately, we can't go back in time, so Mammoth will need to try to recuperate from this position. And Wildcard, under no real stress, will fall down. Probably could have held for perhaps even a little bit longer, but they're not going to limit Test too much, and Logic is actually still above. And I don't think he's been droned, and he will be a dangerous player considering he still is popping off. And yeah, look at Chef Jeff. Look at his body language. He has no inkling that there's a player here.
Yeah, really, really well played here from Logic. And whoa! Well, he's going to quad down, he's on for the ace, and he knows exactly where Chef Jeff is. 1-on-1 for the ace, doesn't find it. Chef Jeff will deny Logic. Logic, though, 17-6. Would have been a deserved ace, but he doesn't quite find it. The lurk imprinter, so successful. And Chef Jeff in a 1 versus 4 hero mission. But I don't think he will be the hero of this story. Cairo immediately just puts the pain further into him. Low on health. Candela went out. One more available. Still to be thrown down. 40 seconds left. Even a gas babe here from Sawyer will do the job at this point. He spots a foot of Cairo. That man's going to need some toe surgery after this game. 30 seconds left. Wildcard will go up 6-4. Chef Jeff will opt for bot main stairs. It will not be a position of safety. The Vulcan canister already just proving to be a thorn in his side. Back through beepers, looking for the hatch in open, but again, still being watched. It's all still just downhill from here for Chef Jeff. Okay, well, just run into him and feed the stats, I guess. And is that a teabag? It is. A little bit strange to be teabagging when you're losing, because at 6-4, match point to Wildcard.
Well, it was a nice double.
It was. Well, I mean, to be fair, they just ran at him.
It was just a click and spray.
It was literally just like Devon Sky last night.
Well, it's a bit like Logic. Well, to be fair, Logic better positioning, and then look at this. Wait. Boom. They just lined up. Well played.
Yeah.
Probably deserved the ace, to be fair, but Chef
Definitely
Jeff, to his credit, played it as well as he really could. He didn't have options really available in 1v5. Up to second floor we go.
Truly a tragedy. Well,
what was the tragedy? What, this game? Logic's missed ace?
I don't know.
His potential 1v5?
Depends on what side of the coin you're on, to be honest.
What did he say? Maybe next year, King. Oh.
Here comes the...
I like this. We need more banter.
I think this is something that the Oceania League needs to be at the forefront on in Siege. In Siege in general, we need to be the region that starts to get the shit talking up a level. The in-game chat's there. You guys can talk, banter away. Our region should be the ones that really set the bar. So you guys have got to improve on that. So I don't mind a little bit of talk.
Disclaimer though, we are not paying the fines if you get in trouble.
Oh, no. Well, I'm not.
I'm not. Maybe Dev will.
I don't think Dev will. Have you seen that man with money? We went out for dinner the other night. First thing he said is, we're not going unless everyone pays me back.
Well, we actually went out for lunch before the broadcast, and we went to the one specific place where you QR code in your all order individually so that we didn't have to transfer him.
Oh.
He was very happy.
That put a smile on his dial?
Most certainly.
We love James.
And he can't hear us right now either, I don't think. No, he's oblivious.
Well, it says always something here when we see the analysts start to get ready because it's match point. They know this one's probably over. 6-4, and I'm in agreement. I think this one's probably done. Mammoth gave it their all. First half, so impressive. They had a 2-4 lead. And since then, 4 in a row to wildcard. Well, actually, 5 in a row to wildcard. It was a 1-4 lead if you go all the way back to the 5th round. That was the Talers Archives. That was the second time we saw it, the plant rush.
Ooh.
That was then countered. Logic. Does he find number 18? No. Hunter finds the kill. Logic is probably telling his team, hey, we can lose one round. That's fine. Give me another chance to get the 20 bomb.
Well, he could have done it this round. Just won the game. Come on.
Well, it's too late now.
He's overcomplicating it. And look, Mammoth.
Well, okay. They might get that next round. Down to a 5 versus 3. Cairo over towards Janitor. At pen. At front desk. What have we got here? What have we got?
Look, instead of going for the repels, going for this super structured square or lobby push, they've just snuck a couple players around the map and found kills. And I wanted to see more of this from Mammoth. I know they did attempt it a couple of times and they did get shut down, but now that it is successful, we'll see if they can convert the late round.
Well, and when you kind of look at it for wildcard's sake, what did they do in these kind of sites like CEO Executive, Montaigne, Banana Stairs, Kanto? Like, there was nothing really repel looking over towards CEO. So they too, and even a little bit of square pushing as well. All right, Cairo brings it back.
Cairo's been playing well.
He's definitely stepped up since that first half. I mean, I think pretty much all of wildcard has stepped up since the first half. Logic was probably the only one that was actually performing well in the first half when they were down and out 1-4, and then everyone else has really lifted and brought that team synergy back into the fold here for wildcard. 3 versus 4, certainly very winnable here. All the key positions still under lock. The only thing maybe would be sort of top square. That's about it, but you still got Cairo and Janitor to contend with. They know he's there. Campo with the diffuser. Cairo has got this mirror, but not for much longer. Headpan with a wonderful kill onto Campo, and he was the one with the diffuser as well. Took a bit of damage back, and there is still that Nitro Cell as well for Cairo. Sawyer gone. 2 versus 3. Mammoth once again have got the player advantage.
1 Nitro for Cairo, but it doesn't matter. Mammoth able to finally get an attacking round on the board.
Better. Much, much better from Mammoth. You know, less stagnant on the repel. Less sort of stock standard. As you said, basically decided, let's just go around the map, search for ones, take our fights, and back ourselves in. And that's what they did. And Logic also gets his wish. He can still get the 20 bomb now. You're like, thank you guys. Now I can get 20, and then we can win this, win 7-5, and call it a day.
But the discussion now, actually quite seriously, is if this goes OT, Wildcard's still going to win. Again, that's another point they lose. Same story, Carlton's Knights. They lose that singular point, and that can have big ramifications through the mid portion of the standings. Now, again, looking towards the very tippity top, Wildcard in their major aspirations will be well and truly perilous. But it's then a discussion about where they end up placing in the prize pool, because there are decent discrepancies between those placements, and for Wildcard, they would have been eyeing off the top couple of spots at minimum.
If Wildcard loses this round, I don't think they can make the major. I think their reliance right now is that Bliss at some point before the wildcard Bliss game, which for those that are unaware happens on the very last play day. They need Bliss to win in OT at some point. They need Bliss to go to OT.
Well, they're 4 points behind, so.
But that's what I'm saying. They need Bliss to go to OT, so then they beat Bliss, and then therefore they'll have the points over them. Now, if they go to OT again here, and Bliss don't go to OT, then that's obviously GG. So, look, it might not matter in theory if Bliss go to OT even just once and Wildcard beat them in regulation, but this is not good. And, and it's not good in general for them this stage to be losing to a team like Mammoth.
Yeah, you go OT and win. Currently, Wildcard are already 1 point behind Homeless, Circular Spheres, and then it begins to allow the likes of Aerial Arise, who are currently trailing by 2 points to Wildcard, to then maybe jump up. And then Wildcard could potentially finish 5th in this league, which certainly I don't think would have been on many people's radars.
Minimum. Maybe 3rd minimum, I should say. 2nd, ideally, if they don't get 1st.
Oh, I like this. So E set up, Sledge the wall, push through, line in tow, Amara up above, and a good first pick.
Well, that kill does mean you've got to go on the rush now. You've given away your location over towards Electrical, straight into sight, clear out the player tucked in behind the reinforced wall. That's Sawyer. He got at least one back. They're falling apart. We're going to overtime. Unless Tuhan brings back something here for Wildcard. Certainly doable. Campo on the floor. And you've got Tiltek low on health. So in terms of a scenario for Tuhan, it's winnable. They go to revive. He spots him. Good trigger discipline. Didn't shoot straight away. Got the kill onto Tiltek. He was low. Now Campo is as well. You saw him to your right. Hello! Chef Jeff just crawls into his radar, his line of sight, and he didn't spot him. They really didn't spot each other there for a good second. We go to overtime. Mammoth have got a point in the Oceania League 2023. They are on the board.
And they're out of last place.
Woohoo!
They'll jump above NQS, and potential for them to maybe even get their debut win. Because again, they're starting to run away with it a little bit. And they're getting away with plays where an experienced team like Wildcard should be shutting them down. Decent denial at the very beginning there. Sawyer a little bit unlucky not to get the second. We didn't see, of course, the kills elsewhere, but those faltered. Then we saw that res.
Tuhan. No, we don't. Okay, well, maybe we do. You can just see for that split second there was that near the chassis. Crawl out, thought he should have been able to spot him, didn't. Was more so focused over towards Beepers. So, overtime it is.
And look, I mean, the small asterisk, so I'm not going to go too in-depth, but if he is playing like 4-3 ratio, he just literally might not have seen him, right? Because black bar's stretched, out of vision, not in the peripheral.
You can turn the black bars off.
Yeah, but if it's...
And then just play your normal resolution and get the kill.
But you still wouldn't have seen him in 4-3 res, Jake. That's the point.
Well, get off the 4-3 res.
Most of these guys would be playing 4-3.
Yeah, I play 4-3.
I know.
I don't know why.
You're still shit.
It makes no difference.
No. Does it make it easier to drive your Ateros and take down shields because they look bigger?
I think it just makes me feel more confident.
Yeah.
That, hey, if this is what the pros do, I'm doing it.
To be fair, 90% of Siege sometimes is just confidence. And
yeah. Oh, 100%.
Mammoth connected back to the game. They're playing confident.
Well, and that's what that first half did for them as well, right? And for those maybe just tuning in or they've only caught the last couple of rounds, Mammoth were up 4-1, right? Their first half was impeccable. They looked really good. And Wildcard were certainly on the ropes. This was Mammoth on the defense. They went to sites like Archives and Tellers. They won them both as well. They won that twice.
And that's where they are in OT. So they'll be very happy.
And they get the opening kill. Chef Jeff goes up to 11. And they'll take a 5 versus 4 point. What is Chef Jeff doing? He just put his DPI up to like 10,000. Logic gets a kill into Pluto. No time to be celebrating Chef because Logic has just got another double. And he edges closer to dropping 20 here. The man does not want to lose. He will do everything possible to will his side over the line.
Still plenty of time remaining in the round. And Chef Jeff, oh, he was eager to get back up over towards top square, but Sawyer, who's had a really solid anchor game himself, able to shut that down on the hard breach, leaves it up to Hunter, Tiltek as well. And this will be a wildcard round.
Oh, don't speak too soon. Funny things have happened with 90 seconds left. I feel like this may be time for wildcard to still throw this Hunter. Well, that's just a random C4 over towards long desk with no intel. Logic just outside Janitor in that stock hallway. Tiltek, this is the big play though. You spotted him, you got to shoot him. Cairo will punish him and get the second as well onto Hunter. Wildcard don't throw the round. Wildcard have got overtime match point.
Well, perhaps Wildcard on attack for OT will not be a disaster. Still fighting hard in this game, wanting to get the maximum points that still remain. 2 for an OT win, of course. And it looks like Wildcard will go down to basement. So we'll see how this does play out for Mammoth. I think this is probably going to be one of the more difficult objectives to attack in a way, because that lurk entry can be more challenging in some respects because it only opens up options like lobby, for instance, or E-box. It's not like you can sneak through dirt or garage, which will obviously be being held by the defense.
What have Mammoth got here? They've got 1 point. You can't just be satisfied with 1. Look to double up. Go for 2. Get yourselves well and truly off the bottom of the standings. You've already done that with 1. Just make it a little bit more harder, though, for NQS to get back out of that bottom spot now. But for Wildcard, they do bring the very conventional-looking lineup here in terms of their operators. Again, smoke for denial. Yokai, Vulcan canisters. It's all pretty much stock standard for Wildcard. What can Mammoth do to change that up? They bring the Jackal once again and try and clear above in a very hurried manner, especially over towards open area staff. This is where the battle, I think, is going to be won and lost. The way that Wildcard have been set up here, this is typically where they've been winning these kind of rounds. You know, I feel like Mammoth at times, they like to get that blue stairs control, but what for? Wildcard don't care. You can get blue stairs, you can get server, but we're watching through the hatches, so you can't really do anything unless you clear open area staff.
Once again, Wildcard will open up the red hatch and look to fall off. Pluto again will prepare for an entry towards this open area position, and last time Mammoth approached it, Pluto did struggle, and there was no real pressure or trade at all.
Does that need to check for any EDDs? I think it might have been. There was nothing else there.
Don't know. I mean, he could have been expecting a player to be on the wall. Right?
Oh, potentially as well. But yeah, I guess it's a 2-4, right? You also then can clear those EDDs if they are there, and then you can now push through like this. This is aggressive.
He has no info on Log again. Logic's going to get this kill. That's not Logic.
Oh, okay, you're right, but it's Cairo.
There you go.
Okay, well, 1 for 1. I mean, if you're going to entry, at least you get 1. You've got to do at least that, and he did, but immediately traded, and still that area under control for Wildcard, and that's probably the main premise, though. Where is everyone else? It's actually probably not even Pluto's fault there. As the entry player, where is everyone else? You should be focusing open area staff. Like, Chef is just lurking garage here, pushing in onto site. Oh, well, GG. Very anticlimactic ending, Guz. Very much so. And you know how I said before, both teams would be like, it's a win-win. I feel like now it's a loss-loss.
Yeah, well, it is in a way, right? And look, hopefully we get some inside Sawyer or Logic, maybe one of the others, I'm not too sure. But I almost guarantee you they're going to go the classic line of, look, we're happy with the win, we got some points, but it shouldn't have been that way.